Brand new information for you on the story we first brought you as breaking news last night. In fact, while you're sleeping, another earthquake hit northern Idaho. We now know there have been 3 earthquakes that struck outside of Sandpoint, the most recent being very early this morning. Here's the information. You look at brand new information for you on the story we first brought you as breaking news last night. In fact, while you're sleeping, another earthquake hit northern Idaho. We now know there have been 3 earthquakes that struck outside of Sandpoint, the most recent being very early this morning. Here's the information. You're looking at a graphic from the National Weather Service showing exactly where and when all of these quakes happened. At 7:32 last night, a 4.1 magnitude earthquake hit about 14 miles southeast of Sandpoint. A little more than 3 hours later, a 4.2 earthquake struck about 9 miles east of Sandpoint, with a 3.3 earthquake hitting that same area about 1:28 this morning. And somebody who felt those this morning, Liz from Rathdrum, as we show you video of Sandpoint last night. Liz, talk about what you felt and what you thought had happened.
Well, I felt the one at 1:28 this morning, and it was a light shaking that woke me up.
What did you think it was at that time? Did you have a good idea that it was another earthquake?
I suspected it might be just because I had heard about the first one, and I know that they often have aftershocks.
I imagine you have friends in the area that you maybe talked to by phone that felt the similar quake effect. If you can, just talk about what you guys are feeling and thinking this morning. 3 earthquakes in a small span of several hours.
Yeah, I just hope at some point we don't have a big one.
All right, Liz from Rathdrum, just glad everybody's okay. Some of those large, 4.2, 4.1, thanks very much, Liz, for being with us. And then you see the last one, magnitude 3.3, that was at 1:28 a.m. There was also a 4th one in Idaho. That was in southern Idaho.
I'd like you to see also that the Lord told us that there would be what? Take a look. According to Luke 21:11, not only did he say that there were going to be earthquakes, but he tells us there's going to be these fearful sights. And if you've been watching the news, volcanoes are erupting left and right. And here's some news about the current volcanoes that have erupted. Now, there are definitely those fearful sights, and we've been seeing earthquakes that are showing up even more frequently. You can get this information in my book. And now we also see that the volcanoes are erupting, and the birth pangs that Jesus talked about, these fearful sights, they're increasing as well. Take a look at this article about the volcanoes that came out April 16th. The number of volcanoes erupting right now is greater than the 20th century yearly average. The article says, is the number of volcanic eruptions worldwide increasing? Yes. During the 20th century, there were a total of 3,542 volcanic eruptions globally. That works out to approximately 35 eruptions per year. That may sound like a lot, but according to Volcano Discovery, there are 36 volcanoes erupting around the world right now. In other words, the number of volcanoes erupting as you read this article is greater than the 20th century's yearly average. And all of this is part of a larger trend. In 2013, we witnessed the most volcanic eruptions worldwide that we had ever seen in a single year. And 2015 is already threatening to be another one for the record books. All over the planet, volcanoes that have long been dormant are beginning to wake up. And this is greatly puzzling many scientists. Fortunately, most of the eruptions in recent years have been relatively small. But scientists tell us that if we do see a VEI 7 or VEI 8 eruption today, the amount of energy that would be released would be somewhere in the neighborhood of 1 million nuclear bombs going off all at once. And such an eruption would completely, literally transform our civilization almost overnight. The last VEI 7 eruption that the world witnessed was in Indonesia in 1815. And according to the Express, that massive eruption resulted in a year without summer and created famine all over the globe. And the Lord did tell us in Luke 21 that there was going to be famines, along with what? Earthquakes and fearful sights, all of which you were reading about today. Now the article goes on to give you more information about how they feel an eruption would take place and what it would do. I think that you should take a look at that article. The link will be at my post so that you could read the entire article. Bottom line is, you're seeing the words of Jesus Christ being fulfilled.